He thought he was finna get away with that trash talk, not remembering what Gojo did to him back in season 1. He thinks because he got his homies now, he can move however he wants. Raga hits him with the uppercut, Sukuna swings around his hand, Raga goes for a block, and Sukuna moves that shit and kicks his ass into a building. Starts throwing the squid around like a sack of potatoes. Pause. Why do these niggas keep smiling so much? And why do they always look so fucking devious? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies with gentle hands, old people with penchant plans, even the bitter and desperate mans. Welcome. I don't need much explaining. Shibuya arc dropped 2 years ago, and a multitude of people have made this same video. Today, we gonna talk about the 3 dudes who love fades more than they value their friends, children, and human life. Needless to say, these 3 was running shit in Shibuya. Without any further ado, we start off with the question. What do you think of Satoru Gojo? To some, he's a teacher. To some, he's an adoptive father. Some don't know him all that well. Some think he's an idiot, a moron, egotistical. But everyone knows one thing. He is the strongest. Bro, listen, I kid you not, this is how everyone talks about me. Listen, I know it sounds crazy. Except instead of the strongest, it's the smartest, sexiest, most humble, richest man ever. Anyway, Gojo shows up on the scene as the veil was placed so that only Gojo could enter. After stepping on the people in the station like some doormats, he drops down and finds Jogo, Choso, and Hanami. Now, as you know, Gojo's got nuh-uh, and any attack that hits him doesn't hit him. Y'all know this. So the curses have to devise an elaborate bullshit plan to make sure he can't utilize all his power by surrounding him with regular schmucks. Hanami and Jogo start killing civilians, and Choso launches a piercing blood at Gojo. Obviously not doing shit, but Hanami and Jogo close the distance and use domain amplification to try and bypass Gojo's infinity, and he just teleports out of there. Also, domain amplification is like surrounding yourself in your domain. It gets rid of the sure hit effect, but it still neutralizes any techniques it comes into contact with. Explanations out of the way, Jogo donuts Buddy trying to help other civilians and then tries to get spicy with Gojo. Should I keep killing to make you understand me? Not really. I'm actually shocked. Oh, yo, got excuses now, huh? No, not at all. Bald-headed bum-ass lava cake-ass boy. What I'm saying is I'm actually shocked you thought you could beat me with this loser shit. And this nigga Jogo starts sweating bullets, bro. He thought he was finna get away with that trash talk, not remembering what Gojo did to him back in season 1. He thinks because he got his homies now, he can move however he wants. Well, Jogo, I got news. You can't. Why? Cause this is Satoru motherfucking Gojo, nigga. Gojo tells these niggas to lock in. After all, they're the ones who said no running, and says that he's gonna kill the plant first. He puts himself back in the position he was just in, and Jogo and Hanami try to swing. But he grabs Jogo, flips him over, weaving Hanami's kick, flips Jogo over again, puts his ass all in his face, and rips his arm off. Blocks Hanami's punch with Jogo's arm and kicks her in her shit, sending her across the station, and chucks Jogo in the same direction. At this point, Hanami believes that Gojo was lying about killing her first, and noticed that Gojo had stopped using Limitless. 1, boy is she wrong. 2, GG. Shawty has no idea what's about to happen. Hanami uses her curse technique and lets down domain amplification. Pause. Look at this nigga grin. He's got his whole bottom row showing, and he got them piercing blue eyes like he's ready to take life. When Jogo heard Gojo stop chasing him, he knew it was over. He dodges every single attack she throws at him, mounted her like a monkey, and ripped her eyes, horns, antenna, whatever it is, he ripped that shit smooth out. Choso tries catching Gojo off guard, but of course he turns that infinity back on and blocks it. Hanami and Jogo go in for yet another clash on Gojo, and this might be the most disrespectful, this is the most disrespectful kill in all of JJK. Are you sure you want to try me? The more you use domain amplification, the more energy I have to put into my technique, and I don't think the asparagus can take that, do you? Pause. What is with this nigga, man? Why is he so jolly in a 3v1 situation? Not even the bottom row anymore. He got all 32 out on full display. He then walks Hanami's ass down, pushing her into a wall with his infinity. Jogo tries to use the humans as bait, but he don't give a fuck and blows Hanami into smithereens. Turns around and asks, who's next? Nigga, this would be the most frightening shit to witness as a cursed spirit. And I know that's a fact, because Jogo starts running for his life, and Mr. Unnecessary does this bullshit maneuver. He could have just jumped up there. He can literally fly. He didn't have to do all this. Jogo uses the people as cover, then Troso tries another piercing blood. What do y'all think happened? Yeah, it gets blocked. All Choso is doing is killing people for no reason. And the more he kills, the more freedom Gojo gets. He is literally working against his team. That's when the train pulls up and everyone thinks they're safe. But a bunch of transfigured humans start popping out the cut. Mahito shows up and tries swinging off, of course not connecting. Then the humans who were trapped up top start to fall into the station. Choso and Mahito just get to straight murking the civilians. They got all the humans they could need. Killing them now won't hurt one bit because there's just so many people. Jogo drops down and fakes Gojo by cutting his arm off and wears this smirk like he's doing anything at all. And they think that at this point, Gojo will be okay with people only dying to cursed spirits, not people dying to him. So he won't pop that domain expansion. But man, oh man, are they dead wrong? Because Gojo pops the domain expansion for 0.2 of a second, freezing everything caught in his domain. He then runs around the station, slaughtering the transfigured humans, killing all 1,000 of them in just 5 minutes. Then Kenjaku appears, and from the pure shock of seeing his dead homie and all the memories flooding his head, he was unable to avoid the prison realm and get sealed. When they say Gojo is the strongest, they mean that shit. Who else is taking on 3 special grades at once? Who else popping a domain expansion and closing it that quickly? Who else can move with as much finesse and poise as Satoru Gojo? Huh? That's what I thought. On to the next one. After being resurrected, unshistying the shisty sorcerer, flash stepping and beating a granny to death, Toji takes a stroll through Shibuya, where he finds a domain expansion that Maki, Megumi, Nanami, and Naobito Zenin have been getting thrashed. And when Bumgumi opens up a way for everyone to leave, he appears. Toji Fushiguro, the one who left it all behind. Now pause. Any nigga who would jump into an ability that is literally a trump card is a lunatic and cares for nothing more than a good fade. This nigga Toji pulls up on Maki and snatches her pole from her hand. The narrator tells us that the old lady's technique should have ceased to continue, 1, after she had died, and 2, once her grandson expended his cursed energy. But Toji is an anomaly, and he hadn't used any of the cursed energy from the sun. The narrator also lets us know that he has become a killing machine. This man Toji is so fade hungry that he defied the laws of defied the laws of life and death itself for some one-on-ones. The squid tries to brush Toji off because he sensed no cursed energy in him. Toji sends his ass flying in his own domain, and the narrator gives us one more bit of info, that Toji's instincts were constantly aimed at the strongest opponent he could sense. Toji starts running on water, mind you, 0 cursed energy, still running on water, starts throwing the squid around like a sack of potatoes. Pause. Why do these niggas keep smiling so much? And why do they always look so fucking devious? The two start skipping across the water and Toji just keeps sending Buddy flying. The squid shoots some piranhas at him and damn, he hit my boy Toji. Is it GG's? Fuck no. He spits that motherfucker out like he was taste testing my uncle's catfish. He tries sending some more piranhas at Toji, but he's just whacking them all out the way with ease. So he tries a new attack and Toji cancels that shit. But the squid actually brought his A game and transforms the fish, wrapping it around Toji and dragging him into the ocean. Sends more piranhas at him that hold him still for this big ass fish to come in and gobble him up, but he breaks free and puts the thing to sleep. They end up on the beach and Toji gets to work in his shit, wraps Playful Cloud around his neck and hits him with a supercharged drop kick. I ain't never seen some shit like this before. Toji Fushiguro stepped on the scene, just saying. Then Toji does something that no one expected. He starts sharpening Playful Cloud on itself, as if this strong ass special grade curse tool wasn't enough. He had to go and make that shit a little more violent. The squid tries to jump up so he can buy time until Naobito stomps on his ass and Toji launches himself up, stabbing Buddy in the forehead. He tries to pull that "it's not over" shit, but Toji stabs him in the cranium again, breaks Playful Cloud and gets to straight beating his shit in, killing the squid and stopping the domain expansion. But he's not done. Remember, he's auto-locked onto the strongest opponent he can sense. Between a one-armed Naobito, beat the fuck up Nanami, and pre-awakened Maki, or a slightly exhausted Megumi, who do you think he chooses? He chooses Megumi. Now this would be a Megumi upscale if Nanami wasn't beat the fuck up, Naobito had both arms, and Maki wasn't Well, Maki, he already knows he outclasses her. He snatched her pole straight from her hands. After sending Megumi outside, he starts to walk around him. And Megumi tries to turn around and dip, but Toji ain't having none of that. Megumi tries to hype himself up and tries to quote unquote visualize winning when this nigga hits the rabbit escape and starts running for his life, using the rabbits as cover, and Toji almost gets his ass off pure instinct alone. Megumi starts running through a construction site, but Toji must have insane callouts from the devil himself because he just meets Megumi at the top. And just look at these whack ass hits. Nope, 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 hell no. Chin check, somebody please stop this, man. Megumi goes for a leg sweep, but Toji blocks it with Playful Cloud. And I can't lie, Megumi low-key versatile. Even after that, he jumped up and went for a spinning backhand, but got blocked. But that led to a right hook that got caught, damn. I mean, if you were up against like anyone else within his caliber, he probably would have done crazy work right there. But unfortunately, he's fighting an Anam, also his dad. The bunny runs up Megumi's arm and starts throwing them bitches. But just like the fish earlier, he bites it and spits it out. Now this shit quite literally scaled Toji up so much. Like he was not moving like this in the manga, bro. He throws Playful Cloud into the air, stomps on the ground, sending the bunnies into the air, then starts to poke the rubble from the ground into the bunnies, killing all of them, all before Playful Cloud hit the ground, which it never did because he caught it. Toji's done playing with this little nigga and sends him out the building. Tries stomping on him, misses, hits him with a hard ass kick to the ribs, then a mean ass two-piece into a car, and tries crushing him with a truck. Then as Megumi's trying to run, he sends not one, but 2 manhole covers at him and a whole truck. How the fuck? Where? Why? Whatever, bro. The truck misses and Megumi jumps across the rooftop, where Toji tries to snipe his ass and misses. Come on, Toji. Aim where he's going, not where he is. Cap taught us this. Toji hops in the building that Megumi flew to and he gets tricked by some of the rabbits. Then Megumi trips the sprinklers and lights his ass up with Nue. But Toji hops out the building and slams on... Oh! Okay, I see you, Megumi. Nice ass dodge. I was unfamiliar with your battle IQ. That's my bad. Megumi realizes he can't actually perceive Toji's movements, so he predicts what he's gonna do next, and it works. Toji steps on one of the rabbits, tripping just enough to where Megumi doesn't get fatally wounded. He grabs him and goes in for a kill shot that Toji swiftly dodges. And from that one moment, he was close enough to Megumi, he starts to realize that Megumi is his son, and remembers his wife asking him to take care of Megumi. When Toji asks what his name is, he tells him Fushiguro. Hearing that Megumi's name isn't Zenin, he smiles and stabs himself in the head, ending the seance technique. Megumi tries to look at his face one more time, then as he walks away, he gets slashed in the back, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Now, the picosecond Toji left, Jogo showed up. We all know that boy was sitting around the corner while his homeboy got his ass whooped, because he was not about to try it with Toji, but he would try it with a beat the fuck up Nanami, disabled old man, and just Maki. After barbecuing them boys, he feels him and does the dash to go see what's going on, to find 2 girls had gave Sukuna a single finger. He sets them ablaze, and then Jogo feeds Yuji 10 more fingers. Mimiko and Nanako get up, and Jogo tries to off them again, but his whole arm is gone. In just the span of 2 episodes he's appeared in, he's lost an arm 3 times, bro. Sukuna has awakened and tells his ass, I'll give you 1 second, move. And that boy Jogo does exactly that. He don't want no problems, bro. Look at his ass. That is not the face of a nigga who wants a fade. The pure malice leaking from Sukuna has all 3 of these niggas shook. Mimiko and Nanako start to question if they're even allowed to breathe in this nigga's presence. He walks up and don't even tell them to bow. He just says, you hold your heads quite high. And they knew to bow down. But Jogo's dumbass wasn't low enough, so Sukuna took a little off the top. He gives the 2 girls 1 finger's worth of time, and they ask for Sukuna to kill Kenjaku. And had it not been for her trying to use Sukuna's finger as a bargaining chip, he might have done it. And even if he didn't, he would have let them leave. But because of that dumb shit, he tells them to get up and knocks Mimiko's head smooth off. Then when Nanako tries to use her curse technique, he turns her into straight mincemeat. He goes over to ask Jogo what his request was, but since Jogo requested absolutely nothing, he makes an offer that Jogo cannot refuse. If he lands one singular blow blow on Sukuna, then Sukuna will work under him while he has control of Yuji's body. Then we cut to Jogo perplexed at the fact that Sukuna with 15 fingers is this much stronger than him. Sukuna hawks his ass down, taking both his arms. Pause. You know we have to look at the devious ass smiles these niggas have. And this is only Sukuna's first one. He cuts around Jogo and chucks a big ass rock at his ass that Jogo dodges, very surprisingly so. Then he starts spraying Sukuna down, missing all of his shots. And then this nigga Sukuna has the nerve to just take a stroll through a burning building. When he comes out, Jogo meets him with a right and left hook. Sukuna catching both of them bitches and taking his arms again. Jogo, keep your arms, my nigga. He uses the top of his head as a cannon, which Sukuna, of course, dodges, and sends his ass flying, ricocheting across street signs, cars, and building. When he comes to a stop, Sukuna bonks his ass on the head, and this pisses Jogo off royally. Sukuna dodges all of Jogo's shit, and what he doesn't dodge, he just cleaves before it hits him. Jogo forces Sukuna between two buildings. I use force very lightly. He probably just went in between them bitches, and slams them together, with Sukuna dismantling them and taking Jogo's arm yet again, just to hit the meanest pose in all of JJK. He sends Jogo through the building, then slams his ass through another. He's shit talking the fuck out of Jogo, talking about how the moonlight is making it easy to see just how pathetic he really is. This whole fight, Sukuna has just been rage baiting, bro, and it's working. Kusakabe and Panda try fleeing because the fight is getting a bit close to them, and if it reaches them, they're cooked. Deep fried, even. Jogo charges up this big ass meteor attack, and Sukuna skates away using cleave and dismantle as skates. Back to Kusakabe, he cuts down the curse users. We gotta get the fuck out of here. No, you don't. I hereby forbid any nigga within a 100-meter radius from moving until I say the words now. And of course, I'll kill anyone who tries to test me. Not yet. Not yet. Still not yet. Now, dog, Kusakabe and Panda, look at it from Kusakabe and Panda's perspective. We can dodge this meteor. It'll be down to the wire, but we can dodge it. Now, if we disobey this nigga Sukuna, that wire will no longer exist. We will take one step and see them pearly white gates. Continuing on, Jogo thinks that not even Sukuna can escape an attack that large unharmed, but Sukuna appears right behind him and ask, why did he decide not to use his domain? And when Jogo says it's because he can't win in a domain clash with Sukuna, he calls that boy a loser. Rage bait at its finest, bro, I swear to God. Then ups fire on him and tells Jogo to arm himself. They prepare their attacks, and Jogo sees his dead homies. Yeah, GG, bro. He's done. He's cooked. He's finished. Sukuna gives him a speech telling him he should have burned everything to the ground. He should have casted everything to the side in hopes to reach the top. I fought hella niggas, and even still, you're one of the better ones. Stand proud. What am I feeling right now? Shit, the fuck if I know. Oh shit, is that a roommate? What's good with you? Shit, you know, same old, same old. Now it's time for the single-handedly best fight in all of season 2. Nah, in all of JJK thus far. The Divine General's divine ass whoop. Back to Megumi getting his ass whooped, and as a last resort summons Mahoraga, with Sukuna sensing it from across the map. Then we get this amazing, divine sequence. Then Mahoraga slams Megumi into a wall, then goes for the kill on the cursed user, who gets saved by Sukuna last second. Sukuna heals Megumi up, then gets ready to fight Mahoraga. Big Raga tries the slam, and Sukuna dodges, then chin checks and dismantles his ass. The two somehow clash, sending each other flying into buildings. Sukuna comes out with a drink and popcorn just to spit all of that shit out. What was the point, my nigga? You should have just left it there. Somebody could have ate that shit. He cleaves Raga. Then Raga grabs him, giving him that Broly treatment, sends him into the building over, where Sukuna just catches himself. Then this nigga Raga starts swimming up a building. This nigga is swimming on a building, bro. How do you do this shit? Raga tries to bring the hammer down on Sukuna, but he dodges and gives him straight heel to chin. I know that shit hurt like a bitch. Raga grabs him, but we know Sukuna by now. If you grab him, or he grabs you, those arms are getting taken off. Just ask Jogo. Raga sends him flying and jumps on his ass just to get thrown into the building, where the two start clashing so hard that the whole building falls apart. Sukuna sends him into the air, tying his ass up and slams him into a parking garage. Hey, wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, that was my fucking car. Hold up, man. Yeah, Progressive, my shit just got total, bro. Yeah, the Divine General Mahoraga and Sukuna, King of Curses, you know the names, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Raga threw my car out of the parking garage and Sukuna cleaved that motherfucker in half. I just wanted to know if like y'all could do anything for me. Fuck you mean? No coverage? I should have bought the special grade anomalies fading package. Yeah, bro, go fuck yourself. That's crazy. I bet Geico would have had me, bro. Sukuna sends a slash at Mahoraga, cutting through him, but Raga just holds his face in place and his wheel clicks. Sukuna wonders what it was, and the two get back to scrap, tearing Shibuya a new one. They end up in a building of civilians, and Sukuna hits Raga with a point-blank barrage of cleaves, noticing that it felt a little off. Now here's my question. How many niggas do you gotta slice and dice that one nigga being sliced and diced feels so much more different from others that it's noticeable? Pause all the fucking way. I'm sitting here editing this and I have no idea why I didn't include this shit, but Raga goes for a cut on Sukuna's neck and he grows an extra mouth and catches it, bro. One, that shit wasn't necessary at all. If he can do all that, he could have dodged that shit, bro. I swear to God, he could have. And two, this entire time, Sukuna could have been using two mouths. Which, if you don't know, his Heian era form is so overpowered because he can chant multiple different incantations at once because he has multiple mouths. So he just chose to make it harder for himself and not do that. Back to the video, man. Raga's wheel clicks again and Sukuna gets happy as hell and starts to turn the shit up a little more. Sukuna kicks Raga in his shit, swings from a crane, knocking him into another one. They land and Raga tries to grab him, but Sukuna tied his ass up using all the debris. Sukuna ends up in the air and Raga puts his ass in a train. That Sukuna shreds like paper, then blocks a kick from Raga. Raga grabs another train and Sukuna low-key get a little spooked here, I'm not gonna lie. Raga traps him and chucks his ass into a building. Sukuna hits this ballerina move and starts bursting out with laughter. Laughter, my nigga. They're tearing a city up and he's laughing because he notices Mahoraga can see his curse technique, which is of course a big deal because until this point the only other nigga who could ever hope to see his technique is the 6 eyes user Satoru Gojo. He sends a fuck ton of slashes at him and Raga heals and appears right in front of old buddy. These niggas have a standoff in the air, dog. How the fuck does that happen? Neither of them have flying abilities, I think. The two start throwing them bitches and Mahoraga gets some hits in. Sukuna realizes that Mahoraga is throwing punches in a way that if his arms, legs, or even his head get cut off, they'll be sent as projectiles towards Sukuna. So he hits Mahoraga with a fake. Raga tries to do the projectile fist again, but of course it's a fake and gives Sukuna the perfect opportunity to hit him with the real deal. Sukuna starts hitting him with more fakes, then some real ones, turning him into straight mush. Raga puts himself back together and they start throwing even more hands. Raga's wheel starts tweaking the fuck out trying to figure out how to counter this shit. That's when this scene happens, which had people confused because Sukuna is hitting the Billie Jean and Raga is shadowboxing in the corner. But what's happening is Sukuna is indeed hitting that Billie Jean and Raga is shadowboxing in the corner. But Raga is shadowboxing so that if Sukuna throws a cleave or dismantle, then he'll just get hit with the projectile. Raga's wheel clicks and he decides the best way to counter is to hit Sukuna with a fake of his own. Pause. Look at Sukuna's face, dog. He's literally about to get his shit smoked and he's smiling ear to ear. Raga hits him with the uppercut. Sukuna swings around his hand. Raga goes for a block and Sukuna moves that shit and kicks his ass into a building. Raga gets up and yeets the top half of the building at Sukuna, who is aura farming on the big screen. Pause. 1, how the fuck he got on there? 2, who is getting these angles? You must be one pretty special or powerful motherfucker to have not 1, been crushed by the fight, and 2, Sukuna not cut you down where you stand. Sukuna destroys the building Raga threw at him and starts bowing, basking in the pure destruction he's causing. The two start flying up a building and Raga throws Sukuna into a plane where Sukuna grabs him, throws him, then hits him with a whole wing, sending him into a pool and slamming an electric tower on him. Now listen, I've never imagined JJK characters as physically strong in terms of, anime strong, but they're just throwing shit like cell towers, jet wings, and buildings around like it's nothing. Raga drinks up the water and releases it as an explosion. I don't know why he did this. I can't really tell you. Sukuna hits Raga with yet another point-blank barrage, sending him flying. Raga's wheel turns yet again, and Sukuna realizes that Raga's technique is to adapt to any and every. Pause. Look at both of these niggas. They are absolutely ravaging Shibuya and have nothing but big ass grins on their faces. Raga is literally a curse technique. How does he even understand the concept of fun, bro? This is the first time where both of the niggas fading are smiling and at the exact same time. Sukuna decides playtime's over and pops the domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. The narrator lets us know that this is no small feat because Sukuna uses an open domain. And to put it into perspective, he tells us it's like trying trying to paint a picture with no canvas, swimming without a pool, jumping without legs, seeing without eyes. Okay, I added those last three. The first two were kind of whack, but that last one makes sense, no? But still, Sukuna is doing shit that shouldn't be possible. The narrator is not joking when he says this is a truly divine feat. Sukuna shortened the range of his domain as to not hit Megumi, but still turn Mahoraga, all the buildings, and the people hiding in them into nothing but dust. Raga regenerates and starts walking through the storm of cleaves and dismantles. What? So Sukuna realizes the only way to beat him is with one big attack he has yet to adapt to. Raga gets up, ready to keep going, and Sukuna arms himself with his flames yet again, lighting Raga and everything in his domain asunder. He comes back to the curse user and tells him to scram, but the dumbass walks into the domain. That or Sukuna just killed him. I really don't know. Sukuna drops Megumi off at the healers, then he goes back to the pit and tells Yuji to savor this feeling. Yuji takes over control of his body as he looks upon the pure destruction of Sukuna's rampage. The memories flood through his head and he breaks down crying, scraping his hands on the ground. We get some shots of all the destruction, with Yuji realizing he has to keep fighting or else he'll just be a murderer. Woo, man, the Shibuya incident was so hard, dude. Like, seeing these three beasts fuck up any and everything, any and everyone. I obviously can't include the music from the series, but the soundtrack was so phenomenal. Every single moment had amazing sound design, and when there was no music, you didn't just hear it, you felt it leave, because it cut in moments of anguish, despair, and suspense. I really wish we could have saw Jogo versus Toji. I know Toji probably would have lost, considering Jogo is at least city block level and Toji is maybe building level. It's still funny to think that he was hiding around the corner just waiting for Toji to dip. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want Yuji versus Mahito, and best believe we doing videos on season 3. That's a non-debatable. And until next vid, today's song is Conspiracy by Paramore. Peace.
I wonder, can our group handle her?
There's only one thing I know for sure. If this weren't a trial, I would have shattered my bottle and retreated a long time ago.